So, all right, Allison, good to see you. Yeah. Oh,
Good to see you too.
good to
So, sorry about my voice. I lost it over the weekend at a 30th high school reunion. Um, so Laura and I have known each other since fourth grade, and my sister is Jennifer. And so, she said she was going on this trip, and I said I always wanted to go. So, she said, I think there's spots open. So I asked Laura, she said, what time? And we registered. So I'm super excited about it. Looks amazing. And I live in Westchester, Pennsylvania. And James, it's funny, our like best friend from growing up just flew back to, she lives in Carlsbad.
Oh, really? Well, that's where I live. It's Jim. I don't just
Oh, Jim, sorry, I
James's
got
i
mixed up James's.
James's iPad is the name of my iPad.
Okay, yeah. Well, Jim, yes, so we know where that is.
Cool. All right, Jen.
Well, I just had a friend who said you're going to Peru, and then that's how that happened.
That is how that happened. And Jennifer and I did a first before I started stepping out, did like our South America adventure. But I just have to tell, we went to Ecuador, and I have to tell people how we decided. We literally opened an atlas at the time and closed our eyes and said we're going to and
What?
No
and that's
way.
how
That's so funny.
and that's how we picked Ecuador. So we it was in the beginning of the 90s that we traveled to Ecuador, and that was my first step into South America. And so I'm very excited that you listened to me.
I- I'm so excited I listened to you too, because but it just shows you that yeah, I feel like it is definitely not the right time for me, but I am so excited and so glad that you um, suggested in a, in a way that I couldn't say no. But I'm so excited. It's been on my bucket list forever. I haven't traveled really out of the country in 30 years. So,
Oh,
so excited and South America and Central America are my favorite places. So, but the only sad part is that, see, I thought I actually knew Spanish when Robin and I went. And apparently I didn't, because when she didn't really think much of my translating. But
I'll tell them about the dancing ants later.
but now, 30 years later, my Spanish is much worse. So I'll definitely do. So I'm just sad that will not be of any help to, not that we will need it, but I know even less Spanish than I did when I thought I knew Spanish.
Is anyone fluent in Spanish?
Oh, no.
And we
Oh,
don't
that
have
is
to.
my extent.
Bathroom and beach.
We don't need it but just wondering, and it's always good, and we definitely we'll pick up words, and as for the travelers, it always is nice to use some of the words with people and you're in their country, so we'll pick up a few things, and you'll probably remember more than you thought. So Laura. All
Hello,
right.
everyone.
I
I'm Laura. I live in Denver, Colorado. I went to elementary school with Allison Martin, and I've been vacationing with the Martin family since I was in sixth grade. I think it took 2 years until I made the cut.
Maybe.
So, like Allison said, she said, "Do you want to go to Peru?" And I said, "What time?" And we coordinated so well. We're actually meeting in Atlanta and flying the rest of the way together. So super excited. I love anything adventurous and I love traveling with Allison. So, and she always
Awesome.
keeps good company. So really happy to be here.
All right. I think we got a great, great crew. I'm very excited. So I am going to start. Actually, this is a little housekeeping that I need, and I'm going to ask you to just do either text me or put in the chat your height so that I can make sure that we get bikes the right size for everyone. I forgot to ask you that, and so I just thought I will take care of that now before I kind of forget. So, all right. So some of you, as you know, have had a chance to look over the document. I don't know if everyone has, and I know it's long. So I'm just gonna pick out what some of the questions were a little bit, and also, um, kind of just run through some of the important parts. I'm going to start with prior to leaving, which is I don't know if any of you had a chance. I know Allison did. I'm pretty sure you told me that you already went to the travel clinic.
I, I did, but I have to make another appointment because I feel like she's trying to like sell me on a lot of things. So I'm like, I think I
Yeah.
need to have this meeting and then go. So I think I went to the wrong spot. Let's do it like that.
Is there a hospital near you that has it, or is that where you went? Because I remember Brad, you got taken by some place that was like Passport to Health or something like that, or
Yeah, well,
Yes, that's yeah.
because it was a travel clinic and not a doctor, it turned out the shots I had would have been covered by my health insurance. But because I was at a travel clinic instead of a medical place, the insurance wouldn't cover it.
Yeah, I went through this whole long thing with her, and then she showed me the bill of $3,800 for the shots. And I'm like, this doesn't really, I'm like,
yeah.
and then she's like selling me all these other things, like kits on the side. I'm like, I'm in sales. And I think I'm gonna leave and then get the right story and you know.
Do you know what's really needed though? Like I went to Columbia in 2019. I don't know how long those things last and what's going
Um,
around in Peru that you really need.
I mean, they say that what was it?
She said like typhoid and Hep A, she wouldn't leave without, but
Yeah.
obviously I'm sure somebody else knows better because I just didn't really, and that's what I saw in that packet too, but I just really didn't trust everything.
Yeah.
She got
So
a load of stuff.
I mean, we're not, we're not going to be in, the the
Right.
wildlife type thing. Um, they do say Hep A, and if you've had, oh God, now I'm confused. Jim, you may remember, if you have, is it Hep A that if you have two things, then you're good for life? Is that Hep
Yeah,
A or Hep
yeah, I
B?
believe so. But we're not going in any
Right,
super undeveloped areas, and
right,
I've worked all over the world, and I don't see a
right.
need for any additional shots other than my flu and COVID shot. But
Right. I would really, make sure that you have your tetanus. If you don't really want to spend, I mean, like Peru, we're pretty, covered. I'm not supposed to say anything in that, like that type of thing. I'm supposed to say, go to your travel clinic. I would then, if the travel clinic was like selling you, I would call your doctor and just ask what they think based on your own, if they know your health, what if there's an issue that you have that's different or whatever that maybe your doctor would know. I would ask your doctor if you haven't been in high altitude before for the Diamox.
Okay.
Although if you are allergic to sulfur, and I remember seeing someone was.
Folks,
Um,
sulfates or sulfur, same thing.
what?
Like it's sulfates and sulfur the same
Yeah.
thing? Okay.
So then you can't do Diamox. But there are some other natural, the cocoa tea they use. Um, if I mean, I remember before Diamox was even something, I took an Excedrin, which has the caffeine or whatever, and that helps the blood,
To
what
dilate. Yeah, it's a
uh,
vasodilator. Huh?
yeah, it helps thin the blood, which helps
Oh,
with
no.
altitude. Um, the other thing, just if you can have your doctor get you just like a traveler's diarrhea thing, just in case. I mean, you, I I hope that everyone will be careful with, what they eat or whatever, but you never know if something's not going to agree with you. And it's just a good thing, to have. So,
Yeah, well, step one is Pepto-Bismol.
yeah,
And that can erase the virus. If that, then there's Imodium, and then if it's not, then Cipro, and Cipro will get rid of it
get rid of it.
instantly. Those are the three levels that I've lived by.
Right, exactly. So, and I'll definitely have, a medical kit. I put in your packet things. It's like very large, like medical kit equipment or whatever that I put in for the packing list. It's really just to give you an idea of what A, to remind you, in case you want, or B, to make you think about, other things that you may personally have an issue with. So that's why I kind of just kept throwing like all the different ideas in there. While we're on the topic, just for a second of like packing and bringing, I didn't put in there like biking pants or shorts. Um, and I just wanted to throw that out there if anyone feels, that, they may be more comfortable with a padded biking short. We're not, the biking parts of it are not ultra long, but they're a couple of hours, but I know that some people definitely prefer to have that padding. So I'm just going to suggest if you're one of those people, I don't think it's, necessary for the amount of biking we're doing, but I may bring it just because I have them. So I'm just throwing that out too.
But my big concern, which I can't tell, is what to pack. What are the temperatures going to be when we're
Yeah.
biking or rafting?
Yeah.
So again, you know, the climate has really changed. I mean, I was just working with on my Africa trip, and we were supposed to see the wildebeest migration at the end of August, and now they're all telling me, the wildebeest are migrating in July, the
Oh,
herds are more in July. So the climate is changing everything, so it's hard to say. I will say that I have, I've been to Peru many times. I've been to Peru in November 3 times. And of those 3 times, there, the weather it was mostly sunny. It was mostly warm. Sometimes we had like a little extra, jacket on. And when you are well, two of those times I hiked I was hiking the Inca Trail. So, it's cold at night, but it did rain like occasionally. So we definitely, would put on our rain gear every so often, or at least I think I wrote, like bring pants and whatever. I don't think you need that. But just having something and by layers. I mean, I think you're going to mostly want like t-shirts and um, like hiking pants. When we're rafting, I would suggest those quick drying shorts and the
It would
quick.
be warm enough to wear shorts then.
I mean, yes. I mean, it's not going to be, like freezing. I mean, and again, I'm basing on what it's supposed to be and what it was when I've been there. I'm just going to ask Diane, Linda, and Brad. When we were in Bhutan, we were wearing shorts in the rafting, right? Or you don't remember?
I don't remember.
Because it definitely was colder than it will
Yeah.
be in Peru. It was colder there, but I think we still had like shorts or whatever on. Um, from my experience, the rafting actually felt very refreshing in the water. Particularly the sun, and it just happened that all the times that I did it, the sun was always out, which is why I said it was sunny. I mean, we could get a week where, it's just not sunny. Um, but it was, it's warm, it's warm-ish. I mean, even though like probably when we're doing Machu Picchu and probably when we're doing Rainbow Mountain, where you're climbing and it's higher, you're going to want to have layers, but it's not, you're not going to need anything like winter type thing. It's going to
Is
be,
everyone checking luggage here?
well, that's a good question.
Nope. Carry on. I will not check luggage any longer. Little as possible.
And you know what? We have no problem of all being, seeing the same thing over and over again. Though, sometimes it confuses the days and you don't remember in the pictures what day it was. But other than that, that is a good question.
Well, I see we're gonna make like our own concoction
Right.
at this, but need check luggage to bring that back.
Right. Well, I'll tell you what, I will be checking luggage so I can take back whoever does it and send it to you when we get home.
Okay.
If that's the only reason why.
No, the other thing is hiking poles. So, I can't put those in carry on.
Mm.
Yeah. You can get, if you just want like a hiking stick, we can pick those up in Cusco if you want your
Well,
pole.
Cusco, they sell hiking poles all over
Yeah.
the place, but
Yeah. So
I didn't realize that. Wow. No hike to carry on. I guess I can see that.
Will they really not let it, or it's just too long? But even if it's collapsed, they won't let you?
no, they won't accept it.
Ew. That's a problem.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's why I ended up checking when we went to Bhutan, because I think I was using a stick, but I'm not now.
Mhm.
Yeah, well, I mean, this climb and
Need a hike.
things, I hike quite often. I always hike with hiking poles, so.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and actually the hike to get to Machu Picchu, it's a good hike. And I actually think, and I will be honest, I have not done Rainbow Mountain myself. I've been wanting to do it, and that's why I put it in this itinerary because I always usually end at Cusco and then we go home and I was like, no, this time we're gonna go past and we're gonna go to Rainbow Mountain. So, because everyone says it's beautiful, but it also is 17,000 feet.
Yeah.
So, and I definitely, I asked, I said, what if people are really slow, whatever. They said even the slowest people and the whatever, everyone makes it or whatever. It just may take time. So, and by the time that we are doing that at the end, you are, um, you should be pretty acclimated and you've already been in Cusco. And I know that, I mean, Machu Picchu and back at Cusco. I know that one of the questions I saw was like, when do I start taking like the Diamox, the altitude sickness stuff, preventing altitude sickness. So you don't need it for Lima. When we arrive, so Laura and Allison are going to be coming straight to Cusco. We won't see them in Lima. And you're going there a day before. I will say that if you are taking the altitude sickness prevention, the Diamox, that you would want to start it if you're going to be arriving on the 12th, you want to take it on the 10th. Start it. Because you're going to be spending overnight in Cusco, which is already the 11,000 feet. Um, the rest of us who are coming on the 13th, we're not, we land in Cusco, but then we're going straight out to a lower area So that our first overnight spot is about 9,000. So, which is, is high, but anyone who's skied or anything like that, that's probably, doable or whatever. But, and then we do go a little bit up and down, but, if and what I don't know, and I wanted to look up and I forgot this, Brad asked me if you don't know if you're going to get sick or not, can you get later and it will prevent, from there on? I think probably yes, but not right away. So I will try to find the answer to that. But if so, I would say for someone who really wants to just make sure that they don't have any altitude problem. Have any of you been in high altitude and had an issue?
No, I can, I drive up to Mammoth and be at 12,000 feet,
12,000 feet.
without a problem. So, but you never know. It could happen anytime, even if you've been good your whole life.
Right. And that is true. And the other thing I always tell people is that it really doesn't have much to do. I mean, there's something to do with how good a shape you're in, but
But
not
no, yeah.
necessarily. Yeah.
So so going back to when should we start it and how many days of pills do we need?
Um, so you're going to get two different answers for that. I went to two different travel clinics for different times. One of them just gave me for 2 days before I got to an altitude, and then for about 4 or 5 days after to take.
Okay.
And then she said, you'll be acclimated. Like by that time, you're not going to need anymore. Another time that I went, and the doctor told me, or the person at the travel clinic said also the 2 days before, but then she gave me pills all the way to the end.
Hmm. Okay.
So, I would say, that's something then again to like talk to whoever you're getting it from. But, with that in mind, I would, like right now I have pills for the whole time. I will probably stop using them if I feel, I'm doing okay after a few days.
Yeah, well, there's a big difference between 12,000 and 16,000. I mean,
Right.
somebody says it's like Everest Base Camp. I mean, altitude.
Yeah. So, but again, by that point, we would have been on 11,000 and, whatever, and there, it is. But as you start to acclimate, while, when you acclimate to it, you're able to kind of continue on. But you're right, it is much higher than anything, and that is toward the end. So, I'm trying to remember when I did Kilimanjaro that I think I did take it the whole time. But I remember.
Well, that's even higher, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, so I did take it the whole time. So I would say get it for the whole time. And if you're, and you can check in with yourself and how you're feeling. Also, there's some people, well, if you can't take it at all, but there are a lot of people I don't have. So some of the side effects are like tingling in your fingers, and which is, not the big deal. Other is like your taste buds or whatever, like you start tasting like everything tastes like metal. And a lot of people have a really hard time with that. And I did have some people who actually, felt that that was giving them stomach issues. So then they stopped taking it. I've had a little bit of all those symptoms. I mean, not the stomach stuff, but that is my cat walking across the computer. Sorry. So that, it's never bothered me enough, but I definitely have had people who it's bothered more. So you'll have to also feel yourself. The other thing is, when I had someone who was, when we were in an altitude and she couldn't take the Diamox, they gave her ginger. And apparently, she said that helped. So, have you, Allison or Laura, have either of you been in higher altitude?
I have, yeah, I've been like for skiing, I have been, but I've never taken, but I am allergic to sulfite, so I would have to think about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's
that's
just the
why,
Rainbow Mountain is the thing that
Really?
yeah,
Yeah.
else I
yeah,
wouldn't take it. Yeah.
right. And again, as you're acclimating and your blood, thins or whatever, it's staying. I mean, because I've been, there's been a couple of years where I've had, a couple of trips one after the other in high altitude. And I did it for the first trip and didn't need to do it for the others because the red blood cells, the thinning of that lasts for a while. It lasts for a couple of months. So that's what's making me think that once you get to, once you acclimate, by the time we're at Rainbow Mountain, we should be okay. I will double check that with someone else. And actually, I'm kind of bummed that Sandra isn't here because she probably wouldn't know the answer to that. So I will ask her.
In Lima, I'm coming in the night of the 9th. Is anyone else coming in that night?
Yes.
Brad. No,
Oh,
no,
wait,
you're
the
coming.
8th, I'm coming the 8th. I'm sorry, not the 9th.
I think Brad and you might be on the same plane.
From
I'll double.
Houston?
Are you going through Houston, Brad?
Yeah.
I think I am. Yeah, that sounds right.
So
Okay.
you guys, I think are on the same one. For Diane, Sandra, Linda, we all are coming in very early in the ninth. So I was just looking around to seeing there's a couple of tours that we could, because that day all that's kind of organized is for dinner that night.
So as a welcome dinner, are we going to miss the welcome dinner, Brad and I, or are you going to do it the next night?
Yeah, maybe I can do it the next night and we can do that and we can kind of figure out. So I was going to say there, area where our hotel is kind of a cute little area. I know that they have like walking tours or biking tours or whatever around there. So I have a couple of ideas for Diane, Linda, that, that we can maybe pick like a half day tour or whatever in the afternoon. And I'd have to ask you, Jennifer, did Kate call you about your flight?
She might have. I'm just now like getting to my desk, but I do see an email from her.
Okay.
Saying
Because
that too.
I had her check to make sure that everyone was, on the flights from Cusco to Lima, and she could not find you. It's
You mean
probably
Lima to
probably
Cusco?
Lima to Cusco.
They couldn't find me either, but I sent her, I have my confirmation. So I
Okay.
don't know why.
So, but it's possible, Jen, because you are doing, yours is an extension of your flight from when you leave home, right? It wasn't a separate.
No,
It
it was a
wasn't.
one way.
Oh, okay. So,
I think I booked it on Expedia. So,
all right. Well, let's look into that and make sure that you have that flight.
So talking about flights, I can
Mhm.
change my flight. My flight's not till 1:20 in the morning or something. I mean, is it wise to even come in a little earlier and go to dinner in Lima? What do you think? I don't know the area or the logistics, but hang around in that airport for 5 hours.
You mean on the way back?
Yeah, on the way back.
Um, I think oh wait, you're 120, right? Most people are like, somewhere like 8, 7 or
Oh, they're that
whatever.
early. Really? Okay.
Um, so I can find out if you want, um, to like do something, we can maybe see if we can have someone, take you out of the airport and go to, one of the, Lima places for dinner or something like that.
Okay.
So I'll ask and see what we can arrange.
Okay.
Um, and I just want to double check, Allison and Laura, I forgot what airline it is. Is it Latham that you're on for going out?
Yep. Yep.
Did they contact you at all and say that they were changing your flight? Okay. Because Sandra was on that 8:15 and she got a notice or whatever that they told her that they changed her flight to an earlier one. So I don't know why hers or whatever. It seemed like it was the same flight that you're on. So I wanted to, so maybe just double check and make sure that they didn't make any changes to the time.
Okay.
So, I'm looking to see what some of the other questions were. First day. Okay, so actually Linda did give me a good something that I forgot on our list of equipment is to have like a watertight, if you have a little airtight bag for water, like to have, if it does rain or if you're in the raft, like to put your phone into a dry bag or something like that. So if you have that, bring that. I have a few. I can bring a couple of them. The other is filtered water. You know, getting that. That was another question. So most the hotels that we are staying at all have, water for you to fill up with. When we're on the road, um, every day I will be purchasing, big filtered water containers for you to fill up your water bottle. So definitely have a refillable water bottle. I My preference is like the camelback thing on your back, just because I like to have my hands free when I'm doing stuff. A lot of people like to be, just carry your bottle in your hand, or else or you can just put it in your backpack. So, however
But
you,
we'll be able to purchase bottled water, right? Because
yeah,
that'll
oh
be
yeah.
easiest for me.
Right. Yes, you can purchase it and purchase bottled water, but just for if we're driving for a while or whatever, and we're, out of an area where there's a convenient store, I am going to be having, I'm going to have a couple of the big jugs or whatever for people to refill.
Sure.
So that you can always refill that. Um, And I'm just looking to see what I think I covered the questions that people had. Oh, money. Um, I will say, and I just want to double check this. Where did it go? I am pretty sure, and I will confirm this because I can't find my little note about it, but I am pretty sure that the outfitter told me that the rate of changing money is actually better in the airport than in other places, which is a little unusual.
At a
So,
change person or an ATM?
well, ATM will probably be the same everywhere. So I'm assuming that he was talking about like the exchange,
Yeah.
place in there.
Yeah. Are there any
Um,
bank ATMs near our hotel? Because that's where you won't get ripped off. The independent ATMs rip you off.
right.
Right.
That I will find out, but he did say, to to do that in your, at the airport. You don't have to take a lot out because there'll be ATMs throughout. They will, as I said in the packet, they will, they do accept, um, dollars or whatever. I think Diane, you asked, did they, for the meals that aren't included, they will, most of them that we go to would also take credit cards, but they would accept, you know, dollars and whatever. So you generally having some US cash, some of their money, and then as we, for any, you know, larger purchases, they will accept credit cards. I I don't know if you read, but you should call and let your credit card company know that you are going out of the country so that they don't think it's fraud and then they make you wait or whatever in order to get the to let it go through. So a lot of them have, you can even go right online and say and put a travel warning on your card or whatever. Is there any other questions that I didn't cover that you
Yeah,
guys?
so going back to that first day, sorry, and it's not relevant to everybody, like the early arrivals, we're just looking for stepping out sign, and then how do we all meet up? Because, 7
Yeah,
a.m.
so
and
everyone
no
is
room.
everyone is coming in at a different time.
Right.
So there will be someone with, and I'll give you instructions once I get the name of the person and their phone number. I don't have that now. So, I will get that to you. Then I'll also, there is, when you go out after you do, and I think I wrote it in the packet after you go through, um, the whole, customs and all that, or you go with immigration, then you
Right.
do, you'll go into an arrival hall, and that's where will be someone with with a sign or whatever.
Right.
So,
But it's just me, Diane, and you that are going to be there that Sunday, or somebody else?
and Sandra.
Oh, and Sandra. Okay. So yeah, so just if we could meet at a certain time in the like, I don't know where
Right.
I'm going
Right.
with my stuff at 7 a.m. or
Right. So I have to find out. So Diane and I are coming in kind of more like the
the middle of
night
the
of the
night.
day.
Yeah.
So we have a room. So I have to figure out for you and Sandra, what they'll let you do. They may not let you into the room. Um, but let me see. And then we will figure out, a time that we'll all, kind of meet, together. And then before that, though, I will figure out, I'll ask you guys, I'll give you some of the options to do for the day and we can make the arrangements.
Okay, great. Yeah, because you did say, I think in your printout, that you shouldn't even leave luggage in hotel lobbies. So, right. I don't know if that's
I
really
mean,
true.
I mean, I think that a lot of the things there's if you were, traveling alone. I mean, our hotel is in one of, the safest areas in Lima.
Okay.
So in Miraflores, which is, a very pretty and also safe area. So I wouldn't, I would think that that would be okay, but I'm sure that they have a room to lock it up in.
Okay, right.
Yeah, so most of the hotels we're staying in like the Peruvian chain, the Casa Adina chain or whatever. So that's, I guess like our Hilton or whatever. Um, Anything else that I didn't cover? Want me to cover?
No. And just that first day where you said you could choose morning or afternoon, like tour. I thought we were doing everything
Oh,
together.
no. Okay. I'm sorry. I should have taken that out. That was the tour company telling me to choose.
Oh, okay.
For you guys. Sorry.
It's okay.
So, so yeah. So And, it's more or less, they did that depending on when at the time that we wrote that, we didn't know when everyone was coming in.
All right, okay, got it.
So, and some people, want to relax earlier, but yes, we're all doing it together, including, I noticed there was a question about like where we say explore Machu Picchu. That is
Right.
led by someone. So, you can't even go into Machu Picchu anymore, like on your own, even if you wanted to.
Right.
But everyone gets a tour guide who is knowledgeable about the runes and everything. So you'll follow that.
Okay, and then one more question about dress code, because you wrote a pair of pants or dress and maybe jeans. Like what? I don't know what we're doing at night. Like other than my hiking pants, I don't know what I need to bring.
Right. So that's a good question. I don't think, I mean, we're not going anywhere fancy. I will say that if like some of the evenings, like in Lima or stuff, we could go to a nice restaurant, but that doesn't necessarily mean like I I am not planning on going anywhere unless you want to go somewhere that and to get kind of all dolled up. But I think, being more in the casual travel clothes is fine. I know every once in a while when I'm on like a 2 week trip, I like to throw in like, if we're going to go out in the evening or whatever in a city, like maybe I'll put, something less travel clothes on. So having like, a little dress or something that I could put a jacket over or whatever and just still be casual, but just a little different. But none of the and I will say, and I guess I should throw this out to you. Lima, well, Peru has, like the top restaurants in the world. Um, and some of them, in Lima. I mean, I looked at them for, to give you guys the experience because I thought it would be cool, but um, they take for the real top ones, they make it like this 6 hour tasting or 5 hour thing, and it was a couple $100 each, and I was like, no. So, but I will say that if anyone is interested, and I didn't want to add that into the itinerary because I didn't know who would want it, but um, if anyone is interested in one of those, call me separately and, we can see if, we can get on, I think the 10th, I think the night of the 10th is, not, well, if we move the welcome dinner to the 10th, that would be, but there's still options, if that's of interest to anyone. But that was a good question. So, what to wear, but I don't expect most of the places in, as we're going through, definitely the Sacred Valley, you're going to be more out in more rural areas and not, very fancy. Now, Ollantaytambo, which is the village/city, closest to, bigger city, closest to Machu Picchu before you get to Aguas Caliente. Yeah, they have started to build a lot more really fancy hotels. So there may be people walking around in a more fancier thing, um, but I'm not, as I said, I wasn't planning on us necessarily hitting those spots, but
Thanks.
You're
Robin,
welcome.
I was just wondering on Machu Picchu, like what in our backpack, I imagine you want like, our rain gear and like an extra layer,
Right.
maybe the water, snacks. I just was trying to think what size. I think, is it like like 24 like cubic, like are you 24 like I like it's just a little tiny pack, like a little summit pack, like what's like a good
What is a good? I'm trying to look to see what I have. Here, wait, one sec. I'm
No,
thinking,
you're joking. You're on mute,
Jim,
Jim.
Jim, you're on mute.
oh what
oh,
is
I can't.
Oh, look at this. This is one of the, I collect these from business class and it's watertight. Look at that.
And that's all you hike with? You can't put any layers.
No, this is just for waterproof,
Oh,
not for,
Yeah.
okay.
and
I
they're
have a little backpack
gotcha.
that collapses like this big,
Oh,
and it
wow.
works fine. I can put a ton of
And I have,
water in there, whatever.
yeah. Now, this is like just a regular, I mean, this is a little bit of a bigger one than I usually have,
I
but
can't say it.
yeah,
It's
I'm trying to
going.
figure out how to,
Background's cutting it out.
I know, I have to figure out how to adjust, how to get rid of that.
I know, because I
Okay.
have my summer hiking backpack and my winter hiking backpack for the layers.
Oh, yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
The
Yeah.
only thing is, I also thought my bigger backpack gives me more
Big one.
packing room if I went with hand luggage, but now I'm upset about my poles.
Yeah, I know. I have to. I looked in Costco. A million places sell poles, and they're not very expensive. I mean, if we have to, we could arrange it. But I'm already getting check lug. I have to pay for the check luggage, so I'm like, yeah,
Right.
I might as well take it anyway. I don't know.
I mean, I would say, Jen, bigger than a book bag. But and also put up everything in and see. I mean, I tend to because, you know, I'm the Jewish mother. I always have like
Me too.
one for everyone else. Like making sure that I have like my whole medical pack and everything, like that. So, but I would, try it. I mean, I would say also if you're carrying your water in your backpack, then, especially when you're on a full day hike, well, I mean, probably any of your, when you're do any of your hikes or whatever, probably the same type
They
of.
all have like full on strap, like full on, like I think every backpack I have has like the full harness. So I was just kind of thinking that might be like, so I don't actually have one that just doesn't have a full, like I just varying sizes. But anyway, I was just
Mm.
thinking I might be needing another version.
I mean, the full harness, you mean like the
A
backpack of
full
it?
hip belt, like the full hip belt, and yeah, so the hip belt and the straps, and so, but but anyway, but it's usually like necessary because you need like all the layers of coat, you need like the
Mhm.
Right.
three layers and the fleece, and then
And
water.
you may find that you'd want that, all that and whatever is comfortable. I mean, I like the ones with the belt and stuff. I think it helps the back.
Yeah,
Um, so, I tend to, prefer, the ones that actually have that hefty support. So,
yeah,
but, for
But
other
maybe
people,
bring something lighter also just for like biking and all that. You don't want
exactly.
like the
Yeah.
big heavy thing. I have one that's
right.
like nylon that also like crunches to nothing, but
Oh, good.
Yeah. I usually have two with me, a bigger one and a
You
smaller
do.
one.
yeah.
That's probably the answer because I
Yeah.
was thinking like Goldilocks. I'm like, this is too big for biking,
Right,
Yeah.
right.
small for
Yeah.
biking. Like yeah,
It's a
that's
pain to have to have two of them with you, but I almost always bring two.
okay. That's probably good. And then
Yeah, and
I
I think
got
what,
it.
yeah, Linda said is like there are, the smaller ones are like the ones that are collapsible. So
Yeah,
I have one, so I use my Camelback, the pack that came with with the water, with the bladder. And then I just, stick a lot of everything that I use for, in there, but it's very light. So I put that all in my backpack when I'm traveling, you know, when I'm getting from place to place, and then I decide which one I'm going to use.
Oh.
So, but that was a good question too. So,
You sound like ChatGPT. Good question. I just have to compliment you.
Sign of the times.
All right, I think I really just wanted to. I'm going to look through the packet real fast and see if there's anything major that I didn't talk about.
And you'll share everybody's like WhatsApp number. I assume that's
Yes,
okay with
I'm gonna.
everybody.
Thank you. I'm going to create a WhatsApp group. That and I'll say, you know, before we leave, and so everyone can then, you know, check in with each other if they're, you know, where you are, what, you know, all that. So, so we will have that, and I will include once I get the guide. I know the guide uh in Cusco in Sacred Valley because he actually is the same person I've been working with for the last 20 years, who I love. But the one in Lima, I don't know yet. They haven't told me. So as soon as I get them, I will add them to our list as well.
Do you know how far the airport is from the hotel?
In Lima?
In Lima, yeah.
It's probably, I mean, I don't know that exact hotel, but Miraflores is about 35 minutes from the
Okay.
airport.
All right.
So it'll be somewhere around that. And then yeah, in Cusco. So Allison and Laura, once we land in Cusco, you'll just let me know what hotel you're at and we'll get you as we're heading out.
Okay.
And I am still looking here. I think we covered what I wanted to and answered some of the questions. One of the reasons why I like to do this is just to make sure it kind of reminds people to look at the packet or whatever. And so, if nothing, you know, if we didn't do that, you know, if we didn't say we were meeting or whatever, people may wait till they're on the plane and then say, oh, I should have brought that. I should have done that.
What
So,
about bug spray? Are there bugs?
yes. But in altitude, you don't have to worry as much. I mean, like in terms of like mosquitoes and things like that. You actually will probably need that more in Lima, and by the coast. So I would definitely have some bug spray. As you're in high altitude, I mean, I do remember, like by the rafting that there were bugs. So yes, so definitely
Okay.
bring bug spray. None of the areas that we are in there is not malaria. There's in other parts, and Linda and Diane, I don't know if you checked where you're going afterwards, but other parts of other parts of Peru are known for malaria. The parts that we are in are not. Same with yellow fever.
Good.
So.
Well, we don't have bugs here really, so I just have to ask.
All right. Is that it? Does anyone else have anything? All right. Well, I am excited. I will be in touch with all of you guys before we leave, but it's what, 2 weeks away?
Nah.
I'm not going to say that.
So that's going to be awesome, and take care of yourselves now so your immune system is healthy and ready for traveling and all that. And I am very excited to see all you guys soon.
All right. Thanks for your time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice meeting everyone.
Nice meeting you guys.
Thanks, everybody.
Robin, could you stay on a minute?
Yeah.
A few minutes?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Sorry,
Thanks.
Laura's boss called. She had to take it. But anyhow, thank you so much, Robin.
Okay.
All right. We'll
Bye,
see you
everyone.
soon.
Better out.
All righty.
All right.
You wanted to stop the recording?
Yeah, that's a good idea.